Hey everyone, this is MMA Tizzer, and today we're doing how to save Conor McGregor's career. Conor McGregor has not had a good last few years when it comes to the UFC. He's been making a lot of money, but he hasn't been winning a lot of fights. So today we're going to look at how to save his career. I've got three routes. They're all slightly different, and they all have different end goals. We have a championship route, a money-making route, and a legacy route. And we're going to look at all three today, and I'm going to explain my choices and why I've chose those matchups for him. So yeah, let's just dive straight into it. So first of all, we've got the champion route, and this is the route to get Conor the fastest to the 155 championship fight, which would probably be against Islam Makhachev, because I can't see him losing that anytime soon. So to start, we've got Paddy the Baddy. He's a huge name compared to say Dan Hooker, for example. So beating him probably gives you more hype, and it's also a good uh, reintroduction fight for Conor McGregor because he's been out for a year or two now after having his leg break against Dustin Poirier in the trilogy fight. Um, Paddy, he's easy to hit and his stand up's really basic, and his jiu-jitsu isn't a threat really. Conor's jiu-jitsu is underrated, so I think he'd be fine in that match. And Paddy leaves his chin really high up in the air, which is just going to make it easy for Conor to land that KO shot. So I think Conor would win this match and probably in a first round or second round KO, TKO kind of manner. And after he wins that, it'll give him a lot of stock and hype, and can really get his career back on track. And then I've gone for Dan Hooker. I think Dan Hooker isn't very good right now. He's past his prime, and he's he's kind of fallen off to the last few fights of his career, I'd say. He's slow and he's not big. He's not a big lightweight at all. He's very skinny. He isn't strong at all. And last time I was watching him in his fight, he was so slow. His punches looked very light and slow. And Claudio Pelez, the guy who was fighting, he was terrible, and he still didn't even make it look super clean against him. So that is worrying for Dan, and he has no wrestling threat to Conor, which is good because he'd just probably stay on the feet, and I really do favour Conor in that matchup on the feet. But and also Dan Hooker's chin has been tested recently. He got knocked out by Michael Chandler, so there might be a chin issue there, but it's hard to tell. But then other times, like with Dustin Poirier, he's shown a good chin, so it's hard to tell. But I'd still take Conor to win that matchup. Maybe not if it was a 5 round fight. If Dan Hooker manages to survive the early rounds, he might be able to get a late finish or a decision win. But 3 round fight, Conor McGregor wins that every day of the week. Moving on, this is the contender fight. This is the one that winning this will get you the title shot. Um, Michael Chandler. Um, Very unpredictable. I think this fight's a 50-50. I think either Chandler wins it in knockout or Conor McGregor wins it in knockout. This fight would not go the distance if it happened. Michael Chandler has a bad chin. He's very easy to wobble, and Conor McGregor has power. And also, one of Michael Chandler's biggest weaknesses, he has very low fight IQ. He always makes bad decisions in fights. I think he wants to entertain the crowd too much, so he does silly things instead of the smart thing to do, which could actually help him win the fight. And yeah, I just think in this fight, Michael Chandler, he's gonna get hit and eventually dropped, or maybe Conor will. It's a 50-50 fight, so I don't know who I take. Conor can win it, but Michael can also win it. So yeah, and then assuming Conor wins that fight, most likely by KO. I'd then go on and have him fight the champion Islam Makhachev. And while I do think Conor would probably get finished within 2 rounds by a submission, there is a very small chance that in the first round, Conor McGregor could flatline KO Islam Makhachev because he has shown a chin issue in one of his fights where he got hit and knocked out in the first round by a really unknown fighter. So I'd say Conor McGregor probably has a 5% chance of winning that fight. But yeah, that's in my opinion, his easiest way to the belt. Those four fighters. So Paddy, get some hype off that, go to Hooker, then get some practicing against Hooker, get another knockout, go to Chandler, try and avoid as much damage as possible against Chandler, try and get a round one finish due to his bad chin, and then go and try and win against Islam, which I don't think he'd do. Right, route two. This is a money fight route. This is a shorter route just to make sure Conor McGregor gets that last few paydays, and so do some of the fighters on this list. So these are fan favorite fights, I'd say. Fans really want to see all these fights, so uh, they'd be really high grossing, make a lot of money, and yeah, just big paydays for both Conor and his opponents. So first of all, we've got Jorge Masvidal at welterweight because Conor's looking really big right now. I don't know if he'd be able to make lightweight unless he went on a diet. So yeah, Jorge Masvidal's a welterweight, obviously 170 pounds. Conor can make that right now, even though I'd say he's probably about 185 right now, maybe 190. That'd be a really good fight. It's a fan favorite. They've wanted to see it for the last few years. I don't know if Conor wins that fight, I'm gonna be honest. I'd give him again a 50-50 chance. Masvidal has good stand up, but he is also quite old. So yeah, that's a disadvantage for him. Masvidal's clinch game's also quite good. It's a pretty underrated clinch game. I don't think he'd wrestle against McGregor. I think he'd keep it standing. But yeah, I think Conor could win that fight. I'd say it's again a pretty close fight. But I'd say it ends in a TKO or a KO finish for either fighter. But assuming Conor McGregor wins that fight, I've gone with Justin Gaethje because Justin Gaethje, in my opinion, is quite overrated. I don't think he's a top five lightweight at all, and I think Conor McGregor has quite a good chance of beating him. Justin Gaethje, he's not extremely accurate. His striking, he just got powerful punches, but he throws a lot of looping strikes. McGregor's probably got the better boxing. He could, take advantage of Justin's lack of accuracy and maybe find a round one finish. Um, but yeah, someone's getting KO'd in that fight as well. So it'll be a fan favorite. The fans have always wanted that, since the last few years. Justin said on numerous occasions he wants it as well. So yeah, that'll be a good fight. And then finally, Conor's last fight in the UFC, another fan favorite, Conor McGregor versus Charles Oliveira. Obviously, Charles Oliveira's coming off that Islam Makhachev loss, so I think it'd be a good bounce back fight for him after he's maybe won a few more. And it would be a nice payday for Oliveira to maybe considering retiring on his career. He'd get well over 1 million for this. And yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? I think this would be fireworks. They both fight at a fast pace, so the opening few rounds would be really good. McGregor's got decent jiu-jitsu. It's better than Justin Gaethje's. And yeah, I think someone's getting finished in this fight. I think McGregor's got a chance of KOing Olives because he's there to be hit sometimes. Although his stand-up's good, he is there to be hit. He's quite reckless, and just because of the way he fights, he's very aggressive, just like Conor. But I'd say Conor's probably more reserved. Has better head movement, head placement. But yeah, I mean, he's got to be careful. If he gets taken down, could be bad for Conor. He could be getting submitted quite quickly. But yeah, that's that. I think if Conor wants a lot of money to end his career on, these are the three fights he should take. And I think he can win all of them. He has a good chance of beating all these guys. But yeah, anyway, moving on. The legacy route. Now, this route is if Conor made some serious improvements and changes. And this is his like dream hypothetical route. I don't think he wins any of these fights for the record, but I'm gonna go through it anyway. If Conor really wanted to, cement his legacy as a great MMA fighter, I think this is the route he should do. But to really prove to the fans that he is, such an important fighter in UFC history. So first of all, we've got Max Holloway. Max Holloway should move up to 155 for this fight and fight McGregor there. I think it'd be a great fight, but if it's a 5 rounder, I really think Max would win by maybe by decision or maybe like a late TKO in the fourth or the fifth. Because Conor's cardio compared to Max's is terrible. Max is probably the best cardio in the UFC maybe, and Conor's is average or potentially below average. So yeah, obviously they fought before about nearly 10 years ago now, and Conor McGregor did win that fight by decision. But yeah, I don't actually think Conor wins this fight. I'd say Max Holloway has about a 70% chance of winning this fight. But I think it'd still be a really good fight, and a lot of people would watch it, so they both make a lot of money. But yeah, moving on, we've got the Dustin Poirier quadrilogy match. I do think Dustin probably wins this, but again, there is that chance that Conor just TKO or KOs him in the first, and it'd be a good fight. Clearly there's unsettled business there, and fans would love. They say they don't, but I think every fan would tune in and watch this fight, even if they said they wouldn't like it as a matchup. But yeah, Dustin probably wins that fight. To be honest, he's looking better right now. He's just beaten Michael Chandler, and yeah. So moving on, we've got the final fight in the legacy route. If Conor McGregor won this fight, he would cement his legacy as one of the MMA greats. A Khabib super fight rematch. This fight would probably break the sport, like the sport history and the internet. If Conor managed to bring Khabib out of retirement for one last fight, where they both finish fighting after it, it'd be immense. Because Khabib has that chance to go 30-0, and Conor has that chance to avenge, the biggest loss of his career, the most impactful loss of his career. And I really do think that Conor would lose his fight, but he does have, due to his power and his boxing, he has that very slim round one KO chance. Do I think this would happen? Absolutely not. I do not think Khabib will ever fight again. And to be honest, I don't even think Conor wants to fight Khabib again. I think he knows he'd lose. He's basically a nightmare matchup due to his really good grappling. I don't think Conor's grappling can improve any more than it has. And yeah, but you know what? The fans, this would make so much money for both of them. And obviously for Khabib, he can get 30-0. This would be probably the biggest fight in UFC and MMA history ever. It'd be bigger than Floyd Mayweather versus Conor. And I think it'd be a fight for the ages. And I do think Khabib would win within 3 rounds by submission, but I'd still want to see it really badly. So I hope everyone's enjoyed the video. I am going to be uploading more in the future. And yeah, it's just a fun one to do. I don't think Conor McGregor does have a very, bright future in the UFC, but I think he can beat some lower level fighters like the Dan Hookers, or maybe like get lucky and KO Chandler. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'm MMA Tizer, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.